Hey yo everybody, this is Madhouse.
And this is the final boost. And since we already some while ago talked about Terry, I guess it's only fair that we talk about Mai.
Full circle here, ladies and gentlemen.
So, I don't know what much to say about her. Like, what do you got?
It's Street Fighter 6. It's Street Fighter 6.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm hating. So I guess let me get my positives out the way. Of course, she looks fine. Like graphically,
she looks better than she did.
Obviously that was a really early version of her, so I wasn't never gonna say like, oh, they're gonna fuck up her face or something.
Oh,
like,
so still early version of Terry, I say.
No, Terry old grandma looking ass. Terry's old fucking I got ribbon candy under my hat looking ass. But anyway, Terry just always looked kind of bad for me. But Mai, they nailed. I think they really captured the character.
Well, he had to, man, for the Gooners.
Yeah, I guess, man. And then you hear comments and all they're talking about is her tits, and I'm like, oh, man, like, yeah, there's like 40 other characters in Street Fighter 6 with that.
Listen, do not get me wrong. Tits is an important part of Mai. Obviously. It's the entire point. It's not the character got more personality than just tits. Like she's a bit childish. She's a bit prideful.
She's about ratchety.
Yeah, she's a thought. It's like, you know, she down bad for Andy. There's plenty of things that go into this character besides her looks, but I'm not going to sit here and ignore that looks was a big part of the character.
Yeah, but so that's a positive. She looks like Mai. Like she fits more of the Capcom versus SNK style art looking Mai. That kind of art of Mai. I don't know the guy's name. Sugar Mori or some shit like that. She matches kind of that. So I'm glad she looks fantastic. Okay. Another positive is that I think they somewhat transitioned the character well. As far as man. No, but I'm not talking about how her gameplay is, the applications of her gameplay, but you know, all the iconography, the moves, like they made sure they worked it in, and I think they did a good job fitting things where they need to be fit in while still fitting with Street Fighter 6 idea of what gameplay is.
Mai looks like Mai.
Mai looks like Mai. Mai fights like Mai. And that's about where my positives end. Because when it comes to the actual gameplay,
Street Fighter 6.
She's a Street Fighter 6 character. At the end of the day, she's going to be low forward drive rush or fireball drive rush. And since she's a fireball based character, okay, she's going to be fireball drive rush.
Now, are fireballs even good in Street Fighter 6? Listen, I do watch a lot of Street Fighter 6, but I don't play Street Fighter 6 anymore because the game is just,
oh man,
a boring mess.
You're trying to tell me that a water flavor lollipop is good, and then all Street Fighter 6 is a water flavor lollipop, or it's like licking sandpaper. Like it's a basic bitch game. It's too basic for its own good. It's too reliant on the core systems for its own good.
Because Capcom clearly don't care about the competitive nature of this game or how the people who actually want more out of this game. Capcom clearly doesn't care about like where you stand because they got the casual money.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want from this character? She's gonna be Mai without the nuance that Mai usually brings to the table. And Mai, in King of Fighters terms, is usually a pretty straightforward character.
Well, okay, I thought that was never a good thing. She's at least more mechanically interesting than Terry.
Yeah, because you got to install.
But she has a thing where she holds the button and then she can change the property of her like fans and things like that.
So Jory.
So a normal fan kind of works like Ibuki's kunai. So you throw it and opponents can attack it and knock it away and sway it away and things like that. But if she holds it, you can't challenge it, and it does that thing where the EX1 does in King of Fighters where it falls down. It does that.
Yeah, but
and then that gets improved through her Percival Grand Blue Fantasy Percival Fire system.
Her V-ism, her V trigger.
Her stops, her installs. That's how it works.
So what's stopping somebody? No, that's supposed to be a mix-up. Usually that EX fan into fan drop is usually pretty scary. Because obviously it's like you can rush up on them and high low, or throw, or kick throw.
I don't know if I don't know if the fan will hit overhead, but it is going to obviously leave her plus enough to go for a whatever Street Fighter 6 thinks is a hollow mix-up.
I did see the fact that when she was in install, now I'm not sure if they did it, they did it on purpose to make sure either it looked like he didn't block or looked like he did. Or
they made sure he didn't use any kind of drive parry or anything like that.
Yeah, but I'm not on that. When she used the EX install fan, yeah. I guess it's EX install fan. I can't tell, but when the fan's on fire,
right,
and the fan drops, and he's crouching, I think it hits overhead.
No, but she hits an overhead, so I don't think the fan hits overhead unless it's a double overhead.
And
you get me?
I don't know. The whole thing is nothing is stopping them from just holding the block button. Fucking no! Don't call it a parry. It's a fucking block button.
Yeah. So what I think is, you know how everybody gets a degenerate, like this is what you do when you're burnt. If your opponent's burnt out, this is what you do. With Manai, you keep hitting medium punch. With Kami, I forget what you do with Kami. It's been so long. But with Kami, you kind of abuse, I don't know, stuff. I don't know. But you know, you always get something to abuse when the opponent's in drive and when they're in burnout. This is going to be Mai's thing. So Mai's going to be when the opponent's burn out, you just throw a fan, and this is where your hollows actually become hollows.
So it's just you gotta wait the burnout to play the character.
You gotta, for the actual get mix-ups, you have probably gotta force the opponent in burnout, which is fine, I guess. But once again, like I said, like the way pokes work in Street Fighter 6, like they have a very specific part of the trailer.
What you mean, Mai's open air kick into block?
When Chun-Li does a crouching medium or a crouching heavy, I can't remember, and Mai does
her biggest kick ever.
Her biggest kick that should be a high, and it crushes Chun-Li's, like it looks stupid, and they're proud of it. It looks dumb. It looks dumb. Like you don't know how hitboxes work.
She did the highest kick fucking
I've ever seen in a fighting game.
She kicked so high, she tore it to her V to her A.
Chun-Li was the lowest I've ever seen that character ever go.
Almost paper.
She almost became Cell Cat. And then like Mai uses this high kick and Mai wins?
Or at least get her to block.
No, she wins.
I don't know. But the fact
it's stupid. I don't ever understand why fucking jabs hit don't hit mid. I mean why jabs hit high. I don't get why certain attacks that should hit high don't hit high. They all hit mid.
With.
But I guess casuals can't understand hit levels.
Like, how is this game popular?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. But anyway.
So here's what Mai gonna boil it down to. Listen, she looks great. Titties, we get it. Okay, we get it. But the fact is, this is a channel about, you know, looking at fighting games more than just the base level.
Yeah.
Looking at them system wise, all right. Street Fighter 6 already suffers in that aspect. So what do Mai bring that other characters can't already do?
She can fireball drive rush.
Okay.
Aki can fireball drive rush. Gao can fireball drive rush. Chun-Li can fireball drive rush.
She can low forward drive rush.
Ken can fireball drive rush. Who else am I missing? Everybody can fireball drive rush in this game. She can low forward drive rush. Ken can low forward drive rush. Gao can low forward drive rush.
The entirety of Juri's existence is medium button into drive. That character.
Juri can low forward fireball drive rush.
Juri has nothing else but button into drive rush. That's all she does.
Mai does the same thing everybody else does, but it's one extra step. How is that interesting for anybody? She does the exact same thing.
So she gonna boil you down to her fireballs don't matter because they get parried all day.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Let's see what else she got. Oh, she has an install, or she has a stock system. Several other characters work on an install or stock system.
Luke? No, Luke?
No, not Luke. Luke has like a
button timer.
A just input.
Fine. Lily,
Manon. Who else? Am I forgetting somebody? Who gives a fuck? Lily, Manon, those characters already work on a stock or install system. It doesn't matter. And
bunch of target combos.
Those characters work on an install. Rashid has an install. Ryu has an install. It doesn't matter. She doesn't do anything. The only thing she has is a unique fireball.
That at the end of the day don't matter.
It's the same thing with Terry. Terry doesn't do anything. Terry has a unique fireball, and that's it. Oh, it goes under fireballs. Okay. What does she do?
The main thing about Mai is that she looked a bit more degenerate than Terry. That's the only thing I can tell. Terry is kind of like mediocre.
I don't know where he is now.
I don't care where he is.
I don't know the meta.
But the thing is, his design, the way they made him, is all flash.
But that's Street Fighter 6.
Yeah,
It's all flash, no substance.
But the way they made him is all flash, and he plays very simply. I just hit you hard. That's all it is. So it's like, like she has a bit more going on.
She does have a bit more going on.
How much of this is going to be invalidated by the system mechanics?
And then after a week, everybody's going to forget about the character because it's just going to turn to the same shit. It's just going to turn to the same shit. Mai wants to go for her mix-ups, but she can't because she'll get drive parried to death. And then,
stop calling it a parry. It's a fucking block button.
Oh, okay. So she'll get block button to death. And then if you try to go for that mix-up, it's just going to end up being strike throw because there's no real high lows when you have a block button.
That blocks everything.
So how is that interesting? You're just doing what everybody else is doing, except your mix-ups don't really count. She has good pokes, I guess, but everybody pretty much has good pokes.
Listen, I think she's going to go in at least being better than Terry. Because like she got more going on. Like she got. I'm so disappointed in Terry. The fact is, at least she got a bunch of target combos. Yeah. Just like Terry. At least she got a lot of fluff that kind of don't matter because of system mechanics. And just like Terry.
And just like she utilizes
just like everybody.
The system mechanics the exact same way everybody does. When have you ever, like, why do you have a guest character? And I get they need to be balanced, quote unquote, but they're just playing like the same fucking character.
No, fuck that. They doing guest characters wrong to begin with. You're not supposed to take. You gotta kind of do it the way Smash do it in certain other games where you're not supposed. The whole point of Tekken did it. Tekken 7 did it. The whole point of the guest character is to bring their spice of life into a Street Fighter. But the whole point isn't to dumb down Mai to Street Fighter 6 levels. The whole point is to bring Mai's unique.
Because you think you're really going to give Mai a dive kick from a back jump? That's a little too high for a power load for Street Fighter.
But what I'm saying is,
so let's no, because I think you're being a tad too extreme.
No, you don't. No. Just what I'm saying is, even Street Fighter 5, when they technically had guest characters, they brought what made them special into the game.
I get that part, but what I'm saying is, as far as what Terry does, I don't know exactly how his little target combos and the side step work. They all just look like it's nothing, just flash. It all look like it's just a command norm. It's just a what they call target combo that just happens to look like it has a side step in there, like a lane switch. And with Mai, she has a command norm that puts her in the air so she can do her dive kicks. Like she can transition into her dive kicks through that. But that's all. Like
it's automated.
Cammy has a move that has a similar effect. Well, not really, but still.
If you had to, Mai and Cammy both have dive kicks. So why can't you just make? We're not sure. Maybe Mai do have a raw dive kick.
I'm pretty sure she does because like I said, she has a target combo that launches in the air. But once again, my problem with it is she's utilized the exact same way as every other character. So what makes her unique? What is she going in other than visually? What is she bringing to the game other than just a slightly different fireball than everyone else?
And do not get it confused. When we say, of course the characters are somewhat different from each other. We're not saying that Ryu do the same thing Zangief do.
Yeah.
We're not saying that. But from a gameplay and system perspective, they all want the same thing. Drive rush, guess.
Their win condition is all the same.
They all go about doing win conditioning in the same way.
So
yes, Ryu shoot a fireball, Zangief grabs. That's the only difference is the 1 or 2 special moves that make them unique. It's literally Street Fighter. It's worse Street Fighter 2.
Even the zoners, because of drive parry or the block button, even the zoners have to just concede to the fact that you have to get in and hit buttons. That's why Aki was changed the way she did, because when she was more of a zoner, And then they buffed her heavy punch to be a derpy rushdown, a medium punch or one of those buttons to be a derpy rushdown character. And then she just fireball drivers like everybody else.
No, because see, that's the issue with Street Fighter 6. It's too tight knit. The characters have nowhere to go. You understand what I mean? So when you buff a character in Street Fighter 6, they can only go, but like for example, you take something away, and they're super weak. There's nothing else to compensate for them missing that. Compensate for them missing. I'm sorry, man, I'm heated. There's nothing for them to compensate for them missing that tool. You feel me?
I guess.
So when they buff characters, then there are only two directions for them to go. Either make them obnoxiously powerful, or you take away something and make them significantly weak.
To be fair, JP was broken and he's still good.
Yeah, but he's only good because of
he had broken stuff.
He had broken stuff. So it's like putting duct tape on the fucking duct tape on a hole. Okay, it's not a great fix, but it's fixed enough. You don't see the hole. You feel me?
Stop saying you feel me. What is this? Magnificent?
No, you know that's what I said.
Phenomenal.
But the thing is, do you understand what I'm saying? The characters,
or is it Mactastic? I forget, man.
The characters are so system mechanic reliant, and they're so linearly built. Characters have no room to become middle ground. It's either they're good, or they're bad, or they're just mediocre, and that's all it is in Street Fighter 6. You got your obnoxious characters. You got
every
your
fighting game.
I know. No, it's not every fighting game.
I get what you mean, like in the long sense where Street Fighter 6 is balanced. It's not really. It's balanced. Oh man, you have to guess between a top tier.
It's only balanced because the characters all do the same shit.
Oh, you got to guess between the top tier. Is it Ken? Is it Ken? Is it Akuma? Is it Gao? That's how balanced Street Fighter 6 is. No, that's how similar all the characters are. That you can't tell who's a top tier because they all function the same.
No, because you only top tier. Now, I know this is for every game, but Street Fighter 6 especially, you only top tier because you're the most obnoxious character. So it's like, it's like
you can't hold that against Street.
No, what I'm saying is
that's every fighting game.
Okay, but you don't understand what I'm saying. There is no wiggle room. There is no, like, Honda might be a sleeper. Honda's not a sleeper. Honda's just mediocre. Honda's just forgettable. Oh, who else in this fucking game? Fucking, like, Manon, even though Manon might be a little better, but Manon, Lily, I can't believe I forget this game's roster.
It's an unremarkable roster, for sure. It's not a good roster. And that's probably most of the reason why I don't like the game either. Just nobody I want to play. Because not only is the system mechanics just unfun to, and I get fun is subjective, right? So I'm not here to say your time with Street Fighter 6 is bad. This is just our opinions.
If you like the game, you like the game.
This is just our opinions of a game that could be good, and Capcom just chooses not to make it better, right? Because I think Street Fighter 6 is a couple tweaks away from being a legitimately good game. But people talk shit about all kinds of other fighting games, but Street Fighter gets a pass. And fuck that shit. As long as drive parries in that fucking game,
Tekken get a pass.
Tekken, I guess.
Oh no! Listen, I don't give a shit. It's my channel. I'm gonna say it. When you compare Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, and MK1, obviously Tekken, but sometimes Tekken. But I think in terms of Street Fighter 6 and MK1, I think MK1 is generally the more interesting game.
Well, it's a more open game.
Because it's more shit going on. It's more shit to think about. It's not just characters all playing this. I don't know, man.
But once again,
I hate modern games.
Once again, if you're comparing it to MK1's a D student. So when you're a D student in a room full of Fs, that's not very impressive. Mortal Kombat 1 is one of the weaker Mortal Kombat games, and it's still open. I'm not comparing the games. If you think Street Fighter is a more superior fighting game, I think Street Fighter is a more superior fighting game. But I'm talking about system mechanics. I'm talking about how system mechanics are utilized. And MK1 system mechanics aren't the best,
But they're utilized better than Street
But it's
Fighter.
still utilized better than Street Fighter. There's still openness to it. Characters can still do stuff. Characters still play differently from one another. And then when cameos are used, they're utilized differently from character to character.
Especially after the recent patch.
Now, Street Fighter doesn't have cameos. I'm not comparing this, but how I'm talking about how the system mechanics are used. The drive system just makes everybody play the same. There's no real nuance to anything. It's really binary. It's off, on.
Positive, negative. Positive is you're plus or you're not. You're plus or you're not. It's like,
once again, I'm not here to shit on anybody's fun, but I'm just gonna say it. As long as drive parry exists in the game the way it does, where it nullifies any kind of fun you can have in the game, this is a party game. You can pretend it's not a party game, but you can cope and say it's not a party game.
Street Fighter's I don't get it. Other games get buried for less. Street Fighter 6 is a party game until they get rid of this guessy bullshit.
Street Fighter 6 was shat on when it was called D Enough Door.
When it was called Grand Blue.
Before the modern controls and shit. All those games got shat on for what made those games work, but Street Fighter 6 gets to be an amazing game because it happens to launch better than Street Fighter 5. It then does nothing else afterwards.
This game been the same since the beta.
This game has been the exact same game since the beta. So I don't. Oh, this is supposed to be a Mai thing.
Oh yeah, I guess it's a rant.
Well, I don't want to go too far. We're already like 20 something minutes in, so I don't want to go too far with it. But wrapping up. Sorry about that. We got into a thing. Wrapping up, Mai visually looks interesting, but she's held back by any meaningful gameplay because of Street Fighter 6. The way it handles its pokes, the way it handles its core mechanics. February 5th, I think.
Oh.
The way it handles its core mechanics, the way it handles its pokes, the way it handles its characters, where they all generally just have the kind of like the same thing going on. What's to talk about here? That's why we devolved into a rant. Because
it's going to be a fun 3 days.
It's going to be a fun 3 days.
It's going to be a fun 3 days.
When the character's figured out. Or when you figure out the character can't do anything because of the drop system.
You think it's going to take 3 days to make that character get figured out in Street Fighter 6? No. It's going to be a fun 3 days when the honeymoon period is over. The character's going to get figured out in a day.
So, yeah, have fun with your
have fun gooning.
Have fun tits and have fun with that. I'm just going to wait for the superior fighting game that seems to be Fatal Fury.
It's the only hope left.
That's the better version of Mai that's coming out, and I'll play that game.
That game is the only hope left.
Once again, I don't wish doom on Street Fighter 6. I really wish Capcom would get away from, well, we got the casuals, so fuck our core game.
Well, look at the updates.
Everybody was complaining about, costumes. But like, dude, your game's been playing the game since the beta. Any changes are minor.
The problem with Street Fighter 6 is not the content. And yes, well, it is.
It's part of it. It's a massive
part of it.
That was stupid in and out of itself.
But the major issue with Street Fighter 6 is Street Fighter 6. I don't care if you don't like the answer. If you even get this far in the video.
They won't.
I do not care. The issue with Street Fighter 6 is Street Fighter 6, not the content. Because if the game was actually fun to play, people would not give that much of a shit. Yeah, it will still be a problem. Even if the game was perfect, the content would still not be there and it would still be an issue. I am fully aware of this. But if the game was fun, if the game was engaging to play
for long
periods of time, people will not have an issue. And the only people
to be fair, well, finish your thought.
And the only people who are complaining about the content, who are not talking about the gameplay as much as they should, who aren't, is the people who are relying on this game to give them a paycheck.
I think this is another rant into itself, but this content problem isn't indicative of just Street Fighter 6. This is a problem where developers or companies kind of wired people into thinking that the fighting games need constant updates to be successful or to stay engaging. And now that's always true. You'll always need like some kind of thing going into the game.
There's a difference between content and the update. An update to me is a change in the game. Content for me is something that should be drip fed, especially when the game is a live service. So costumes and shit, that's not what they call it. The custom
Street Fighter 6 is a complete game.
Yeah, but no,
It has live service elements.
Yeah, but what I mean is, I'm not expecting Street Fighter to be updated every day. It's not 2016 NRS.
2011.
2011 or whatever, NRS. What I'm expecting is...
New patch, my guy is bad. All right.
What I'm expecting is content.
Man, we keep nerfing Kung Lao, but it keeps getting better. Anyway,
costumes. Fucking stage music.
Stages
in general, other games. Constant.
I don't understand. Street Fighter V never had an issue with this. For all Street Fighter V's faults, content was given to you. The most you had to wait was like 2 months. And then you'll get like Borog, and then you get like, I don't remember the order, okay? But you'll get Balrog, and then you'll get like Lucina like a quarter of a month after. And then you'll probably have to wait 2 weeks or like a whole 2 months for like Sagat or something like that. But what I mean is, Street Fighter V kept offering shit that got characters constantly. You got music, you costumes, got stages, you got characters,
colors, costumes.
Street Fighter V never had an issue with this. Street Fighter V was costume porn. If everybody want to complain about the costumes in Street Fighter 6, even though you should be complaining about why my game still plays like a beta.
Well, not plays like a beta, but plays why the meta, why the game have not substantially evolved since the beta. Y'all been doing the same thing for damn near almost 2 years.
Why is Driver Versus still bad? Why is Perfect Parry?
No, I think it's better.
It's probably better, but as far as I remember, it's still not like good. Why is Drive Parry still overpowered? Drive Parry is my major complaint with the game.
Well, and Drive Rush.
I can live with Drive Rush.
Yeah, but I don't like the fact that they just eat neutral.
Look,
and they eat inputs.
Look, it doesn't matter. When Fatal Fury come out, there's going to be stuff I don't like.
Of course.
What I'm saying is, I can live if Drive Rush was in and of itself the only bad mechanic.
But every mechanic is bad.
But Drive Parry, I think, just kills any fun the game could have.
Matter of fact, every mechanic isn't bad.
It's not.
No, you know why? The mechanics aren't bad. The mechanics are geared for casuals. That's what it is. That's the term that I keep forgetting. The mechanics to this game are not bad. The mechanics of this game is meant to dumb itself down just enough so any slub can play it and just mash on everybody. Knowledge means...
Stop. People still can get it.
No. I'm not saying that, it's a very low skill setting to this game.
It's low, but it's still there. Like, you're not going to beat, like, tournament players.
No,
if you would actually play the game, maybe. But what I'm saying is, like, it's not like I'm gonna.
That's not what I hear.
It's not like I'm gonna be like, oh. Okay,
I hear people in Japan are dropping games to casuals.
I don't know about any of that. I don't know.
Oh no, that's what Sonic Soul been saying.
I don't know. You sure you didn't mishear? I didn't hear anything about any of this, so it's like whatever. That's not a big deal for me, right?
But what I'm saying is, the mechanics of this game aren't bad. It's meant to, is Street Fighter missing the frontal lobe of his head. It's meant to dumb itself down to just rushing, slamming across the screen and guessing.
Put it like this. If Mai were to come out, right, and they come up with a balance patch, and Drive Parry gets the proper adjustment where you can't like hold it anymore or whatever it needs. It's
more like an actual parry. You know, the thing Street Fighter 5 got right.
Something that's actually, if they would reduce the Mickey Mouse shit in this game, and kind of reduce the gambling mechanics of the game.
Oh damn it! That's Street Fighter 6.
Like if the gambling component of the game would be reduced with Drop, I can live with Drive Impact. I can live with Drive Parry. I can live with Drive Rush. Drive Parry, I think, is what turns this game into a party.
And don't get it wrong, it's gambling in every game. But the difference between some games is that it's not gambling; it's taking a risk. It's a calculated risk in some games. It's not always a gamble. Street Fighter 6, every time you initiate with the system mechanics, either it be Drive Parry, Drive Rush, or Drive Impact, it's a fucking casino mechanic.
And I just don't find that fun. It's not engaging. So but I can live with it. I just think if the game would buff drive, I'm having a brain for it. If the game would buff drive reversal,
which I think they did, man.
I don't see anybody really use it.
Well, I don't know, maybe it still sucks.
If
Like
the
I said,
game
we don't play the game anymore. We watch it. I watch it plenty.
Look, if I'm out of date here, if I'm talking out my ass and I'm out of date here, my bad.
I watch the game plenty.
But if the game, if Capcom will buff drive reversal, if drive parry, which is my major issue with the game, gets reduced so it actually carries some risk. And then if you would like reduce, I don't know, like, okay, so if drive rush got less play and I actually had to walk around with my character and I actually had to be responsible for my own combos, then, or my own frame data or something, the game is best, in my opinion, when the game feels good. I mean, I hate the weight of the game.
I hate the weight and the way normals feel.
I hate the pokes, but I hate the weight of the game. It feels like everybody is suctioned together. There's no freedom, but I do like moving around. So if they can just concentrate on like making my character like me having to move and not having a combo with like drive something, because like that kind of just makes the combos boring. It's just like, oh, okay, well, low forward, drive rush, heavy punch, fireball, EX fireball, and EX Shoryuken, and that's it. And then everybody does that. And Zangief, what you do? Oh, if I'm not throwing you, it's low forward, drive rush, double lariat, tiger knee, the command grab.
Look, the times when this game slows down and there's no drive anything happening, this game could have been a modern day Street Fighter 2.
There's a Street Fighter game in here.
It could. This game, especially when both characters burnt out, this game easily could have been a modern day Street Fighter 2.
There's a Street Fighter game buried in here. It's just underneath the dumb shit. And I get that Street Fighter 5 had its dumb shit, but at least that game utilizes mechanics more interesting.
Yeah, but the thing about Street Fighter 5 is that Street Fighter 5 initiated an emotion out of me. Yeah, was it great? No. Was it bullshitty? Yes. Was it broken in some areas? Fuck yeah. But it elicited an emotion. The game got me to feel something. And that's way more important than just a game being boring. And Street Fighter 6 is just, to me, to us, just boring. The game offers nothing in terms of like mental flexibility.
No, I mean, I guess if you like mental stack, which is just calculated guessing, but people use mental stack
as a flavor term,
as a catch-all term for what Street Fighter 6 does. But so mental stack just loosely translates into it scrambles.
It's like Abari. Abari is just a fancy term for whatever. I don't care what it's called. Abari, whatever. The whole term is just a fancy term for mash and jab.
Once again, I don't want to hate on Street Fighter 6. I do think it's a good game somewhere.
It's buried.
But if Capcom is going to keep concentrating on casual elements like the battle hub, if they're going to concentrate on costumes, or people keep complaining about costumes.
What is it? The avatars. That's what I'm going to say.
The avatar costumes. If they're going to concentrate on battle passes, and this is why the game is not getting the love it needs, because they're concentrating way too hard on the casuals and World Tour mode to give a fuck.
Street Fighter 6 is not stale because of lack of content.
It's still because of the game.
It's still because the game wants to be that way. And Capcom, like it or not, found the audience that they want to cater to.
And it ain't y'all.
They can cater to the casuals because they don't have to think. Idiots will buy. I'm not calling casuals idiots. I'm saying they don't have to focus on the core gameplay until the casual well dry up.
Oh, look, man, we made a game where it makes casuals feel strong. We got a whole input mode for them to make them feel strong. The system mechanics help them in tremendous ways. That makes people who want to take the game seriously feel like they're playing a casino.
And we got a babysitting mode.
Like all that panders to casuals. And if they're happy, Capcom's happy. I don't think they give a fuck about what high level players think.
All these tournaments and all that bullshit just putting on airs. They're trying to make the game more prestige than it's supposed to be. It's fancy because it gets tournaments. High level players play it because they rely on money. The only reason this game get any type of tournament relevance is because Capcom wants that prestige on the game.
And look, I'm okay. If this is my so long from Capcom fighters, fine. I had a good run. We had what, the Alpha series all the way up to Street Fighter 5. I think that's a good That's a good thing. We had some highs.
Street Fighter 5 still better.
We had some highs.
I don't care how long this game been out. Street Fighter 5 is a better game.
We had highs, Street Fighter 4. We had lows, Street Fighter 5. And then we had Phoenixes rising from the ashes, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. We had Street Fighter Alpha 2. We had the major Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Marvel.
We had the EX series. We had the Marvel series. Look, if it's Darkstalkers and whatnot, if it's my time to shuffle off and go focus on something else, and fighting games belong to whoever the fuck doesn't care about them anymore, and that's what they want to do. If they want to Fortnite it up, fine.
Be my guest.
I'm not here to shit on anybody else's fun.
But in terms of fighting games, this is where I get off of Capcom. This my stop.
Yeah,
they did it.
I'll wait till SNK gets successful and then they do the hill turn, because Namco's already doing the hill turn. Arc System did the hill turn. It's only a matter of time.
You think of it like that, yeah, because the next gear they got, imagine every modern game is suffering right now. It's not like they all doing well. Yeah, they may be doing well casually, but there's problems with Strive, MK1, which is technically Vaporware, Tekken, and Street Fighter. All these modern games have major issues because they all chose to follow the wrong crowd. I'm not saying it's wrong to follow casuals. Give them something to do.
You know what the most irritating part about Street Fighter 6 is that World Tour, it might be a dumb fuck mode for me. I never touched it. I don't give a fuck, right? It might be a dumb fuck mode for me. Battle Hub might be a dumb fuck mode to me. But it did what it's supposed to do.
It got them.
It babysits casuals and allows them to have fun with the game in their own way without ideally compromising what Street Fighter is supposed to be.
Yeah, but it would have been perfect if they would have had the battle mode if Street Fighter
6.
God, they had it, man.
If Street Fighter 6 was interested in making an interesting fighting game, they had it. They found the key. World Tour mode is a success. Battle Hub is a success.
The customizations, the avatars, the costumes,
all that shit is good for casuals. If the core game was solid, if the core game wasn't bland, if the core game wasn't generic, box standard, water taffy, if it wasn't just baby's first baby time frolics game, Street Fighter 6 will be the perfect fighting game.
You have both audiences fat and happy.
Capcom was chasing after their interest coattails this entire time. They accidentally fell into it, but the game suffered.
That's the difference. With NRS don't have to chase casuals. NRS make a game that's fun enough for casuals to get into, but deep enough to take seriously, at least for 2 years.
So for the people who want to play it. Every fighting game is different. I'm not here to say like MK is less relevant because it doesn't play like Street Fighter, even though they need to start taking cues from like Namco of how they handle things. Like I said, Street Fighter 6 could have literally been Street Fighter's MK11. I'm sorry. Excuse me. MK 2011. Not MK11. They could have had both casual. They could have had the casual heart and the hardcore heart. And I guess they kind of do, but I don't think anybody likes playing.
I don't think anybody who knows fighting games to a higher degree, I don't think enjoy this game.
And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I it's like I hear a lot of people say they don't. Competitive people, there is no competitive person.
No.
There is no competitive person who 100% love any aspect of Street Fighter 6.
But I'm not blaming them for that, because once again, there's elements of Street Fighter 4 I don't like. There's elements of Street Fighter 5 I don't like. One of my favorite series is Soul Calibur. In Soul Calibur 2, there's elements I don't like. There's going to be like that. Street Fighter 6 is the first fighting game where there's everything I don't like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Street Fighter 6, there is no redeemable quality.
For us.
I think for any strong competitive player.
I'm not here to put words in anybody's mouth.
No, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. But I think for people who want a strong competitive game, this ain't cutting it. And that's what I meant.
You can pretend. You can certainly pretend. And I'm not here to shit on your fun. But as far as I'm concerned, if every other game can be crappy and clown shoes and what else other insults they use for other
party
games?
game,
party game,
non-competitive,
non-competitive, developed by shit developers. If every other fighting game can be that, so can Street Fighter. And it is. And it is right now. And I know it's
Smash got more than that.
And I know it's like the popular opinion. If this catch airs to anybody, it's gonna be, look at this retard talking for 40 minutes about stuff he doesn't understand. And I understand that I don't know a whole lot about Street Fighter 6.
Could we stop playing it?
Because I stopped playing it. But the game didn't change. I still watch the game every once in a while, and it's kind of fun to watch when you kind of step away from it from a while.
I think it's fun to watch two competent people play.
Yeah, it's not like fun to watch like
random online
matches, but it's fun.
It's just like,
I'll tune into a tournament every now and again, and sometimes I'll get some enjoyment out of it. It's not all the time, but sometimes I'll get the itch like, man, I'm gonna watch some Street Fighter. And since nobody really plays Street Fighter like 5 like that anymore, or anything like that, I'll watch some Street Fighter 6, and then sometimes get enjoyment. I'll get bored fast, but you know, it's there.
You pop in and out.
So yeah, it's like I'm kind of abreast on what's happening, but not really. That's my opinion. But this exploded into completely something.
Man, remember this was a Mai trailer?
Yeah.
So I guess it's a Mai trailer plus a rant.
Yeah. All right. So let's wrap it up here before we get pulled into something else.
Okay. I'm gonna end this.
Oh my god.
Like I said on Discord, if Terry was toast, just bland toast,
yeah,
Mai is Terry. Mai is a saying. Mai is toast with a small square of butter. Okay, just enough to get flavor, but still dry.
Yeah,
that's the end of it.
See you next time.
See you.
Jesus Christ.